There's a lot of things that you can use a pendulum for, but let me tell you some of my favorites as somebody who makes pendulums and has sold pendulums to hundreds of people, as well as somebody who has wrote the book, How to Use a Pendulum to Survive a Spiritual Awakening. Number one is decision making. Anytime I need to make a decision about anything, I use a pendulum, okay? I'm a person that gets really bad decision paralysis. I just don't know what the fuck to choose because I always want to make the right decision. And using a pendulum has taught me that we always do make the right decision, technically, because every decision that we make is the right one because it's the one that we were supposed to make, even if it doesn't seem like it's morally right. Communicating with past loved ones. If you have somebody that has passed away or even a pet that has passed, you can use a pendulum to communicate with them, with their spirit, and ask them whatever you want to ask them. Any questions, you can use a pendulum to communicate with them. You can also use a pendulum to communicate with your home, with your plants. You can use a pendulum to figure out where to place things in your home, and that really taps into feng shui and how to tap into the best energy overall for your house. You can use a pendulum to figure out what angel numbers mean specifically for you because they're different for everybody, and when you look up the meaning of any angel number, you'll see a bunch of different meanings. Why is that? It's because there's a different meaning for everybody. So you can use a pendulum to decipher what angel numbers mean specifically for you. Speaking of this, you can also use a pendulum to see what these synchronicities mean for you. Are you constantly seeing a certain type of bird? Are you constantly seeing butterflies? What does that mean for you? You can use a pendulum to figure this out. I talk more about decoding synchronicities in my book, How to Use a Pendulum to Survive a Spiritual Awakening, and it has a bunch of different tips on things that you can use a pendulum for to make your spiritual awakening less confusing, because it's pretty freaking confusing. If you're a person that likes to spend a lot of money, I like to use my pendulum to see what things are actually aligned with my highest good, especially when it comes to investing in small businesses. I also like to use a pendulum for my products to see what products are the best for me, and I like to use a pendulum to see what foods are the best for me as well. Everybody has a different diet that they should follow, and it's not necessarily what is on the food pyramid or what people say is, oh, vegan diet is the best diet for you. Every body is different, and you have a way of eating that is very aligned with you, and you can use a pendulum to figure out what foods work best with your body and what foods to avoid. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer that while a pendulum can help to lead you to make really good decisions, if you were always meant to learn a lesson a certain way, you cannot use a pendulum to avoid these lessons, okay? Unfortunately. You can't use a pendulum to spiritually bypass. It literally will not let you, because it's essentially the physical manifestation of your ancestors, your spirit guides, your highest self, God, the universe, whatever you choose to channel through it. But essentially, all of these things will not let you bypass the lessons that you were always meant to learn. If you incarnated here to learn certain lessons, you cannot avoid it with any divination tool, especially not a pendulum. Ultimately, a pendulum is a really good tool to increase your discernment and to increase your intuition. By following the breadcrumbs with using a pendulum on a daily basis, you're going to start to realize how the universe works for you. If you'd like a beautiful handmade pendulum, you can check that out through my website or my Etsy linked in my bio. If you want a pendulum that's intuitively picked by your spirit team, you can click on my profile and check that out in my TikTok showcase.